Yanaronkwanyonk. Una aweti satri hutat. Naskatawaton oma ndiora. Oma kiesti. Hatekwaton masonyo oma ndume neometsa. Hatekwaton masonyo ndesta ndusti. Hatekwaton masonyo ndurutane ndusquira shon a. Hatekwaton masonyo ndoheti ndononkwa. Hatekwaton masonyo ndoheti nde yaronta. Hatekwaton masonyo ndoweti nde yakwa. Hatekwaton masonyo nde yaju shon a. Hatekwaton masonyo nde hino ne nde yora. Hatekwaton masonyo soma ye a ndemete ya yandishra. Hatekwaton masonyo nde oma shuta a wasonte ye yandishra. Hatekwaton masonyo ndeweti nde hati ronyonk. Hatekwaton masonyo nde huti nga dite hatindare de yoronya ye. Hatekwaton masonyo nde soma mandishu nde kyonte. Una ayaten yandishe ndai hatra.
Hello, I'm Helen Burston, Chair of the Board at Evergreen, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Future Cities Canada Summit. We're so happy to be able to bring the summit to you virtually today and to create this opportunity to bring city builders and thought leaders together for an exciting exchange of ideas across a range of topics. We will open these proceedings by respectfully acknowledging that the sacred lands upon which we operate and the built communities and cities across the country are the traditional territories, homelands, and Nunangat of the First Nations, Métis Nations, and Inuit, who are the longtime stewards of these lands. Evergreen acknowledges that these occupied lands are subject to inherent rights, covenants, treaties, and self-government agreements to peaceably share and care for the lands and resources across Turtle Island. These regions remain home to diverse Indigenous peoples, and we are grateful for the opportunity to live and work here.
Hi, I'm Zoya Sodi, Program Manager at Evergreen. Thank you for joining us today. At Evergreen, we refer to our Smart Cities work as the Community Solutions Network, which is a national network focused on building innovation capacity in communities across the country. We focus our services around two main goals. First, we make information about smart city and smart community issues and approaches available and accessible to everyone. Second, we help communities talk to the right people and find the right partners to enable and enhance their own smart community projects. Our Smart Cities work is funded by the Government of Canada and is delivered at no cost to communities. You can follow all of our work through the Community Solutions Network portal and get in touch with us if there are any questions. Thank you once again for collaborating with us.
We're a small First Nation community located in northern Ontario on the northern shore of Lake Superior, and we do have highway access. We're centrally located on the Trans-Canada Highway, or very close to it, so we're not as remote as some First Nations in the country are, particularly fly-in communities. But the opportunity to network was probably the best learning experience we had. We were able to connect with communities across Canada that had similar challenges that we face, and as any good collaborative partner knows, having those resources in that network to be able to help you identify a path forward that otherwise seems new. And it seems like sometimes we're all alone in this in our projects because everybody's fighting their own battles. So taking the time to connect with the communities and the partners that have done this before was instrumental in really helping us understand our present situation and the direction and path forward for us to receive and achieve reliable broadband services for our community.
First of all, I would say we were really pleased to be able to have the opportunity to participate in the advisory services program, which was made available, I guess, through being a Smart Cities Challenge participant, as well as just that permission to experiment and, fail. And I know one of the things, I'd mentioned to Matthew, like I'd followed Christian Basin, I think his name is, and I believe he's out of Denmark as well, but he's worked with a lot of governments and, talking about that path. It's not a straight path, right? Like when you're delivering services, you need to be able to experiment. Sometimes you're going sideways. As government people, we've always been, you find the quickest, efficient, most cost-effective way to doing something, but that might not always be best for the customer. So bringing the customer in and, he just really reinforced that thinking, I guess, as I said, from building on Smart Cities Challenge experience, what we've learned, our exposure to user-centered design. So yeah, so I think it's going to be real. I'm excited this summer. As I said, we want to kind of dig in and really see if that's something that we can explore in our organization.
I think the group activity was definitely a big highlight for me, partly because obviously during COVID, we've been doing a lot of online workshops and whatnot, but most of them have been a very passive activity. And what I really appreciated was that this one was one we could actually interact and apply a bit of the information that had been taught. So that made it really stand out from the crowd. I liked how they really laid out how to evaluate the performance measure and made you think critically about it. I think in the past, we just kind of collect them together and we don't necessarily go through that rigorous an activity of evaluating them. And I think that was a really useful exercise that I will be able to take to my workplace as well.
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons why I would say that attending events like that are important. One of those would be building up a network. So, I mean, excuse the pun when I say this, but a human network, right? Like it's not just, when we work with networks, it's not just cables and routers, but it's people. We need to connect with people. And it's one thing to see examples of projects kind of written out on paper. It's another when you actually get to converse with somebody that has been there and done that, right? There's something more powerful about seeing somebody in person or virtually in person, I guess, and knowing that, okay, they actually did it, and it also allows you to connect with people and have somebody you can reach out to later too and say, hey, do you mind if I connect with you at some point and run you through some questions? We're about to get started on a project like that, and I'd love to know how you got past this or that challenge, right? That's a big part of it, I think. And the other part of it too is that it allows people to pose questions to, especially that a lot of these events have panels, right? So you get to pose questions to a panel of people who've had those kinds of experiences and get a response right there, right directly. And even if you didn't ask the question, a lot of times the question that somebody else asked is something that you might have been thinking of. And so it gives you a good insight.
The Community Solutions Network is designed to help communities navigate the smart cities landscape, build partnerships, exchange and share knowledge, create awareness, and provide for very specialized, tailor-made solutions in the data and tech space. We would like to thank all of our partner organizations who've collaborated with us to deliver this program, especially Infrastructure Canada and all the communities who've supported us and contributed in the journey. We look forward to working together again. Stay tuned for our next sessions. Evergreen.